Welcome to the Black History Month. My name is Victor Moore Muhammad. I'm here celebrating flag raising in Paterson, New Jersey, in a strange land in a holy ground called P-Town. And I just want to say it is a blessing to be here. Out of any places I could have been in the world, I thank God that I'm here today.
Please rise for the procession. I'd like to welcome everyone again to our Black History program. My name is Gordon, and I'm the municipal clerk for our city of Paterson. On behalf of the Honorable Andres Mayor of our wonderful city,
You want to sit by me?
Honorable Marissa Daphne,
Okay,
Council President, Honorable Michael Jackson, Council Vice President, and the Honorable Municipal Council members, our ministers, our honorees, and you, our honored guests and City Hall family. We are honored once again to have you join us in celebration of our annual Black History Month ceremony. This year, our theme is Black Migrations, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. And if you look at your program, everyone has a program, you see that theme on the front line. The demography of Paterson is one of very ethnic and cultural. We are indeed thankful for our forefathers, for all their sacrifices to provide a platform in which we can stand proudly today and declare our purpose. We should never lose sight of our goals, but stand committed as a united front to face all our challenges. Today we have a full program which I'm sure you will enjoy immensely. However, I would like to leave everyone with these words from the famed poet laureate, the late great Maya Angelou. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeat so you can know who you are, what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it.
First, our guest speaker of the day has made an early impact on our community. The moment I had an opportunity to meet him, I was definitely inspired and encouraged by his fire and his tenacity. So I will not give my own rendition. I will definitely stick to the script. For the moment, the script is longer than I will be, I'll tell you that. Believing that he was called in early childhood, Reverend Dr. Weldon McWilliams finally accepted his call into the ministry at the age of 27 in May of 2007. Reverend McWilliams received his license to preach the gospel in October of 2008 and has now dedicated his life to preaching the gospel for Jesus Christ and preparing God's people for the kingdom. Reverend McWilliams believes that in order to carry out the work of Jesus Christ, one must achieve inside and outside the church, and that the right of justice and integral component is an integral component of one's Christian duty. In May of 2010, Reverend McWilliams received his PhD from the Department of African American Studies at Temple University in Philadelphia. He is currently an assistant professor of history at the state of New York, SUNY, at Dutchess Community College located in Poughkeepsie, New York, where he teaches United States history. Reverend McWilliams was ordained on May 15, 2011 at the Yahshua Temple Praise by his pastor, Bishop Melvin Brown in Philadelphia, PA, thus continuing a family tradition and establishing the fourth generation line of ordained ministers. Father, both grandfathers and parental grandfathers were all ordained pastors. So for many of you who know the history of Paterson, you know that there's a church that has left a great staple in our community. That's Grace Chapel. And Reverend McWilliams' grandfather was the pastor at that church, where his father was a native Pattersonian. His father then went on to take a job preaching in upstate New York, where Reverend McWilliams had the opportunity to grow up. And just from my brief time of hearing him and listening to this brother preach and give himself to the community, I would say that Christ Temple has struck gold. This community of Paterson has struck gold. And without further ado, I give you today's guest speaker, the good Reverend Dr. McWilliams.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm not going to be before you long. I have a few minutes. I just want to thank the City Council, want to thank the Mayor, want to thank the Council President, the Chair of the Committee. I want to thank you for extending to me this opportunity to share with you for a few moments on the theme of standing on the shoulders of giants. Amen? Amen. I again first want to give reverence to God who is the head of my life. God, everything I do, everything I attempt to do, everything I think about, I hope that I do. And I ask the question, is this something that God will be proud of? And I do that. But I come today in pledging my allegiance to God. I come today to always make sure that I'll speak truth to power. Amen? Amen. So I don't come in the name of anyone else. I don't know. I'm not going to come in the name of my father. I don't know what's best to say what's politically correct for Paterson, but I stand in the name of the one who I discovered to be water for the thirsty, food for the hungry, and a voice for the voiceless. And I'm talking about the revolutionary Jesus the Christ. Amen? So I just want to speak for you briefly, because we are here today to celebrate a people, to celebrate a culture that has contributed so much to not just this nation, but has contributed so much to civilization itself. We are the people, if we're honest about it, if you study science, if you listen to those who know what they're talking about, we are the people in which humankind itself started with. And as I stand here before you this afternoon with the privilege of being the keynote, I count it an honor and a blessing. But I am fully aware that with honor and with blessings also come responsibility. So I look at this opportunity as a responsibility to speak truth to the matter. And when it comes to my people, when it comes to our experience here, we don't do any service if we dress up the truth. Amen? I believe that some of these amens may get a little tougher as we go along, but if you continue to say amen, I promise you that sooner I'll be out the way. Amen? So the story of our people here in America is a story that is one of many trials, is one of many tribulations, accompanied with all the momentous victories. These are victories that, if we're honest with ourselves, have been few and far between. Our people have had to endure being kidnapped. Our people have had to endure being stuffed into ships. Our people have had to endure being brought to a strange land, a land that they did not ask to come to in the first place. Our people had to endure this land, a land that would eventually strip them of their names, eventually strip them of their language, and try to strip them of their culture. People of African descent, we people of African descent in America have been fighting in survival mode ever since. We have been in survival mode, and still, after all these atrocities, we must be applauded because we are still here. So if you don't applaud anything else, we ought to applaud the fact that we are still here. Because our people, when they came to this land, we came to this land as an enslaved people. We were not slaves, but we were made into an enslaved people. There's a difference. But we were a people that, as Malcolm X put it, would work from sun up to sundown. We were a people that never had a day off. And we were subject, our people were subject to the sting of a lash for anything that might have insulted the sensibilities of the oppressor, even at the slightest. But despite even that, our people, our forefathers, our ancestors, they knew that their conditions as slaves did not define them. They knew that even though society said that they were to be in bondage, they knew that deep down in their spirits, they could not accept those conditions of being enslaved. Despite the limitations that were put on them, despite the limitations that were given to them, they knew that for their survival, they would have to defy limitations. Our people have, from the moment that we've stepped unwillingly onto these shores, our people have constantly had to rise above the limits that were prescribed to them. Our people have always had to defy limits that this nation has tried to put on us. They tried to relegate us to conditions of slaves. They tried to tell us that we were not human. They tried to tell us that we were not worthy. But our ancestors knew that in order to survive, they would have to defy limitations. So our people, from the moment they stepped off those shores, knew that they would have to defy the limits that were prescribed to them. And I thank God that we stand on the shoulders of men and women who saw themselves greater than the society they were placed in saw them. Amen. Y'all need to learn how to put your hands together, shout, no one to say amen. We ought to say hallelujah that we come from a people who saw themselves greater than society tried to tell them they were worth. In this society, the historiography or the writing of history tends to be two things that I find extremely problematic. In our society, the way we write history, first of all, it tends to be patriarchal and it tends to be individualistic. And this is incomplete. This is problematic when you look at the history of African people. When you look at the history of African people, you cannot accurately tell our story if it's patriarchal, and you can't accurately tell our story if it's individualistic. When you tell history from those perspectives, it is very incomplete. But as I look at this beautiful flyer that was created for this event, I can't help but notice that there was no black woman on this flyer. We as black folk, we as Africans of descent, we cannot fall into this line of thinking that seems to dominate European type of thinking that men are the only ones that can make history. Because if we're honest with ourselves, the story of the struggle for black liberation, for black freedom cannot accurately be told unless it acknowledges the contributions and the sacrifice of black women. I don't know about you, but somebody told me my mother prayed for me, amen. Somebody I heard my grandmother prayed for me. Had it not been for the prayers of my mother and my grandmother and my great-grandmother, where would I be, amen? So I don't know how you feel, but we all should get a little bit offended when we didn't see a black woman on this flyer, because our story can't be told unless we acknowledge the contributions of our women, amen? Somebody ought to say amen. Amen. So we can't fall into this line of thinking that tells us that only black men have made history. In many, if not all, African cultures, the family is the most important institution of that culture. And you know that you cannot create a family absent of black women. Amen. And I don't care what America tries to tell you, you cannot build a family absent of the black man. Amen. Amen. So I just want you to understand that if we are going to really honor ourselves, if we're really Marcus Garvey. Somebody ought to know about Anna Julia Cooper. Somebody ought to know about Mary Church Corral. Somebody ought to know about Sir Gerald True. Somebody ought to know about Harriet Tubman. Somebody ought to know about Gloria Richardson, Fannie Lou Hamer, Anna Ella Baker, Joanne Robinson. Somebody ought to know that had it not been for a black woman that was on my side of the world, you would not be here. So if we're honest with ourselves, if we're true to ourselves, if we're honest with ourselves, then we can't properly tell our story unless we acknowledge the role that black women play. So let us all just look at a black woman and say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Another misconception about our history, another misconception about the way that we write and the way that we tell our story is that history, especially here in America, tends to highlight individuals. It tends to promote this notion that history is made by individuals. We learned about men growing up, George Washington, all these peoples, but George Washington would not have even been mentioned in history had he not had a mass of people who felt the same way that he did. And I come by to say the same is true when we talk about our people. Our history is not a history of individuals, but it is a history of the collective. Amen? I understand that we highlight certain figures when we look at our flyer here today. We see Malcolm X, we see Jomo Kenyatta, we see Barack Obama, we see Nelson Mandela, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King. But I want you to know that these individuals themselves could not make history by themselves. One of the examples, Martin Luther King Jr., he became the leader of the civil rights movement not because he chose to become a leader, but it was because the masses of the people in the community in which he served had similar thoughts, had similar passions as Martin Luther King, and they themselves decided for themselves to select Dr. King as their leader. Amen? So I want somebody here to understand that if we continue to look for individual leadership, it is easy for us to get lost. We need to begin not to just look for individuals, but we need to begin to identify collectives, not just one person, but 2 or 3 persons that we can get together with and that we can make some real progress. The story of the black man, the story of the black woman, the story of the black child in this country has been a story of struggle, but it is not a story of individuals. It is a story of the collective of the people. That's why Black Panthers said power to the people, because they understood it was the people who would make history. Yes, Dr. King did some great things, but it wasn't Dr. King by himself. Had it not been for the community of Birmingham, Alabama, had it not been for the community of Montgomery, Alabama, you would not know or see of Martin Luther King. Amen? Had it not been for the Nation of Islam, we would not know Malcolm X. Had it not been for the communities in which you live, had it not been for the community of Paterson, New Jersey, you would not know who Weldon McWilliams IV is. So our story can't be a story of individuals. My success has to be seen as your success. Your success has to be seen as my success. When you hurt, I ought to hurt. When you have joy, I ought to have joy. When I prosper, you ought to prosper. When you have prospered, I ought to prosper. Our story is not a story of individuals, but it's a story of a collective. If you agree with me, somebody say amen. And before I leave you, the story of the black man, the story of the black man, women, and child in this country has been a story of struggle. Yes, during Black History Month, it is important that we highlight the many successes. It is important that we highlight the many achievements. But we would be fooling ourselves and it'd be a disservice to all our ancestors and all our relatives if we do not highlight that our story in America has been a struggle. Our story in America has been a story of fighting. It has been a story of survival, trying to make it. It has been a story of trying to defy the odds that were set up against us. But in acknowledging who we are as a people, we must make it clear that we are a holistic people. And if you're going to celebrate us, you got to celebrate all of us. You can't pick and choose what aspects to celebrate. You can't pick and choose what aspects to highlight and then decide what other aspects you want to keep quiet. We are people who have made a commitment to fight injustice whenever we experience it. We are people who history tells us that we cannot become complacent in injustice. We cannot become used to injustice. When you celebrate Black history in America, you are also celebrating the people's commitment to fight. Amen? When you celebrate Black history in America, you are also celebrating our choice to fight. And we had to fight for everything that we had in this country. It ought to be acknowledged that when this country brought us here, they didn't want to give us a thing. Everything that we got, we had to fight for, we had to march for, we had to scream for, and so like so often, too often, we had to die for it. Amen? But I want you to know it was, we had to fight for everything that we had. We had to fight for our families because they split up our families. We had to fight for our right to worship because they didn't understand how we worship. We had to fight for our right to educate ourselves because they didn't want us to learn to read and write. We had to fight for our citizenship because somewhere I read they try to call us 3/5 of human beings. We had to fight for our right to vote because somebody believed we did not have the capacity to govern. We had to fight for our right to exist, and still, even in 2019, far too many of us are fighting for our humanity. We are fighting right now. Some of us have come to the foolish belief that the fighting is over. But the fighting, we are still in the midst of the fight. If in 2019, we still have to declare that our lives matter. If you have a group of people that still have to declare their lives matter, that is just another way of saying we are still fighting. Amen? And I come by to tell somebody that if you're going to celebrate Black history, you can't pick and choose. You can't highlight certain things. You got to acknowledge all of us. You either going to include all of us or you might as well forget all of us. Yes, we have made some achievements, but we still got a long way to go. We are still fighting. We are still declaring. We are still saying that we are human beings. And if you don't want to acknowledge our humanity, we will say you still have a problem with us. Amen? So we still have a right. We are still fighting because we still are fighting for our humanity. We are still declaring that our lives matter. And I just want to say in the short time that I have, that I want to encourage all of you that we must continue to fight. Don't let any entity, don't let anybody, don't let any institution try to tell you that your life is not worth fighting for. Amen? We must continue to fight. A celebration of Black history means you got to celebrate all of us. And not only do we come from kings and queens, but we come from some warriors who know how to fight. We come from some survivors who know how to survive. We come from all of these things, and we have to make sure that we carry that in our DNA. But if we're honest tonight, if we're honest this afternoon, let's be honest with ourselves. We would rather have the things that we are fighting for than to be celebrated for fighting for. If we're honest with ourselves, we would rather have the things that we are fighting for than being celebrated for what we are fighting for. We would rather have our freedom than to be celebrated for fighting for our freedom. If we're honest with ourselves, we wish that we would never have to come to a place where we had to justify our humanity. We wish that we could live in a society where freedom would just be given to us because we are free. Yes, we are fighting for things, but if we're honest with ourselves, we would rather have the things that we are fighting for than to be celebrated for fighting for them. We would rather have the answers rather than fighting, being celebrated for fighting for the answers. But I come by and I'll say this to close. Celebration or not, I'm proud to be Black. Celebration or not, I'm proud of the legacy that I come from. Celebration or not, I'm still going to fight for what's right if you love me or if you hate me. I understand that God works by a different equation than here in the world. Somewhere I read that in order to be exalted in the eyes of God, you must humble yourself in the eyes of man. So I say that to say it doesn't matter who wants to walk with me down here. If God tells me to do it, we got
Welcome to the Black History Month.